In the year 2024, an extraordinary event is on the horizon, predicted to occur and cast its shadow upon the world. This phenomenon, known as the 3 days of darkness, holds great spiritual significance according to ancient sources and mystic traditions. As we gather to discuss this imminent occurrence, it is important to understand its implications and prepare accordingly. The 3 days of darkness will envelop the earth for 3 consecutive days and nights, plunging humanity into a state of deep introspection. As we approach this extraordinary event, it is crucial to be aware of the signs that may indicate its impending arrival. Unusual celestial phenomena, such as abnormal solar activity, erratic weather patterns, and unexplained disturbances in the natural world, can serve as precursors to the 3 days of darkness. To prepare for this period of darkness, it is essential to make the necessary arrangements in your homes. Stock up on essential supplies like food, water, medicine, and other necessities that will sustain you and your loved ones throughout this period. Ensure you have ample light sources, such as candles, flashlights, or lanterns, to provide illumination during the darkness. While the 3 days of darkness may evoke fear and uncertainty, it is important to remain calm and centered. This period is said to be a time of deep spiritual reflection. Use this opportunity to connect with your inner self, meditate, pray, and seek solace in your faith or spiritual practices. It is advised to refrain from venturing outside, opening doors, or windows. The darkness that engulfs the world is said to be filled with negative energies and malevolent forces. Stay indoors, seal off any sources of light, and avoid any temptation to look outside or engage with the outside world. Remember, this event is a time of purification and transformation. It is an opportunity for personal growth and spiritual awakening. Embrace the darkness with hope, faith, and an open heart. As we stand on the precipice of this extraordinary event, let us come together in unity and support. Share your knowledge, experiences, and preparations with others, and be a beacon of light even in the darkest of times. The 3 days of darkness in 2024 will be a profound moment in human history. Let us be prepared, stay vigilant for the signs, and approach this event with courage and resilience. Together, we can emerge from the darkness transformed and renewed. May we find strength within ourselves and in each other as we navigate the mysteries that lie ahead. Prepare well, stay safe, and may the light guide us through the 3 days of darkness. Now, let us explore the reasons behind the unfolding of such a significant event. Perhaps you have come across my previous videos concerning the Euphrates River. If you haven't, I highly recommend that you watch them at a later time to grasp the prophetic narrative that intertwines with the occurrence of the 3 days of darkness. The question of why this event is transpiring draws us into a realm of speculation and interpretation. Various factors may contribute to the unfolding of such an extraordinary phenomenon. It could be rooted in natural phenomena or supernatural occurrences, depending on one's beliefs and perspectives. The Euphrates River, with its historical and symbolic significance, has often been associated with prophecies and apocalyptic scenarios. Many religious and cultural traditions have attributed profound meaning to this ancient waterway. Exploring the connection between the Euphrates River and the event of the 3 days of darkness may shed light on the underlying narrative and its implications. By watching my previous videos on this topic, you will gain a comprehensive understanding of the prophetic story that links the Euphrates River and the forthcoming 3 days of darkness. Delving into the rich tapestry of history, spirituality, and myths surrounding these elements may provide insights into the deeper significance of this extraordinary event. Stay tuned, and let us embark on this intriguing journey of discovery together. In the Bible, the Euphrates River is mentioned in several contexts, and there are references to fallen angels as well. In the book of Genesis, the Euphrates is one of the 4 rivers that flowed out of the Garden of Eden, along with the Tigris, Pishon, and Gihon. It is associated with the location of the ancient city of Babylon, known for its prominence and power in biblical times. Regarding fallen angels, the Bible mentions their rebellion against God and their subsequent banishment from heaven. In the book of Revelation, specifically in chapter 9, the Euphrates River is referred to in the context of the sixth trumpet judgment. It states that 4 angels bound at the great river Euphrates will be released to cause destruction and torment on earth. These angels, sometimes interpreted as fallen angels, have been kept in restraint until the appointed time. The connection between the Euphrates River and fallen angels in the Bible is symbolic of an event or prophecy. The impending judgment of God upon nations is foreshadowed in the scripture. It emphasizes that no one, not even the swift or mighty, can escape this judgment. They will stumble and fall towards the north by the river Euphrates. This powerful imagery from the Bible highlights the inevitable nature of divine judgment and the limitations of human strength and power. It serves as a profound reminder that our true refuge and strength lie not in our own abilities, but in the unwavering steadfastness of the Lord within His sovereign plan. Finding true security can only be achieved through Him. The Euphrates River, in addition to its geographical significance, also serves as a symbol of divine judgment and mercy throughout history. While it has nourished civilizations and supported life, its significance and prophecy suggests that it will play a different role in the end times. Just as the river nurtured ancient Babylon, its drying up could signify the end of an era and the termination of systems and powers that oppose God's will. By exploring the rich tapestry of history, spirituality, and myths surrounding the Euphrates River and its connection to the 3 days of darkness, we may gain deeper insights into the unfolding of this extraordinary event. The intertwining of ancient prophecies, fallen angels, and divine judgment creates a narrative that invites us to contemplate the profound mysteries of our existence. As we continue on this intriguing journey of discovery, let us remain open to different interpretations and perspectives. The 3 days of darkness in 2024 holds the potential for transformation, both individually and collectively. It is a time to reflect on our spiritual paths, to seek solace in our faith or spiritual practices, and to connect with our inner selves. While the specifics of the event may remain unknown until its occurrence, let us approach it with a sense of hope and courage. By being prepared, staying vigilant for the signs, and supporting one another, we can navigate the 3 days of darkness with resilience and emerge transformed and renewed. May we find strength within ourselves and in each other as we face the mysteries that lie ahead. Let us embrace this profound moment in human history with an open heart and a willingness to grow. Together, guided by the light that shines within us, we can navigate the darkness and emerge into a new dawn of understanding and spiritual awakening. The 3 days of darkness predicted to occur in 2024 is an extraordinary event that holds great spiritual significance. As we prepare for this period of darkness, it is important to be aware of the signs that may indicate its impending arrival and to make the necessary arrangements in our homes. By connecting with our inner selves, practicing meditation and prayer, and staying united, we can navigate this event with resilience and emerge transformed. The connection between the Euphrates River, fallen angels, and divine judgment adds a layer of symbolism and meaning to the unfolding of this extraordinary event. By delving into the historical, spiritual, and mythological aspects surrounding these elements, we may gain deeper insights into the underlying narrative and its implications. Let us approach the 3 days of darkness with hope, faith, and an open heart, knowing that together, we can navigate the darkness and emerge into a new era of spiritual growth and understanding. The imagery of the Euphrates River in the book of Revelation is incredibly powerful and carries deep symbolic meaning. It serves as a testament to the mystery of God's plans, which often surpass human understanding but steadily progress towards their destined fulfillment. The Euphrates River is not just a physical river. It also represents God's interaction with humanity, a reflection of his promises, judgments, and the ultimate fulfillment of his divine plan. In Revelation, the author John speaks of a time when the sixth angel pours out his bowl on the great river Euphrates, causing it to dry up. This act is portrayed as a deliberate action by God to prepare for the final battle, setting the stage for the kings from the east to march towards Armageddon unhindered. The drying up of the Euphrates River serves as a precursor to the gathering of earthly powers for the ultimate battle at Armageddon. The Battle of Armageddon, as mentioned in Revelation, is the culmination of this divine setup. It represents the confrontation between the forces of evil, led by the beast and the false prophet, and the armies of heaven, led by Christ himself. This battle is not merely a physical clash, but a spiritual showdown that signifies the triumph of God's righteousness over the wickedness of the world. In this context, the drying up of the river symbolizes the withdrawal of God's grace and sustenance from a world that has turned its back on him. It serves as a reminder that earthly powers, no matter how strong or enduring they may seem, are ultimately subject to God's sovereignty. The drying up of the rivers also signifies the end of human arrogance and the beginning of divine judgment. It reminds us that earthly kingdoms, no matter their strength, are transient, while God's kingdom is eternal. Reflecting on this prophecy is crucial for understanding its relevance to our lives today. It calls us to righteousness, warning us against aligning ourselves with worldly powers that oppose God's will. It reminds us of the temporary nature of earthly kingdoms and the everlasting nature of God's kingdom. This prophecy encourages us to remain vigilant and faithful, standing firm in our faith as we await the fulfillment of God's ultimate plan for humanity. The drying up of the Euphrates is also symbolic of the removal of barriers, both physical and spiritual. As the river that sustained Babylon diminishes, it could signify the downfall of systems and powers that stand in opposition to God's kingdom. Just as ancient Babylon fell, the spiritual Babylon mentioned in Revelation will also meet its end. This prophetic event deeply connects with the fall of Babylon mentioned in Isaiah and Jeremiah. Isaiah 4:27 says, "Who says to the deep, 'Be dry, I will dry up your rivers.'" Therefore, this prophecy speaks to historical events, while also resonating with the future fulfillment of God's judgment on the world's corrupt systems. In a time when we witness the literal drying up of the Euphrates River, let us take heed of the spiritual implications and seek righteousness in our lives. These prophecies present a new perspective that prompts us to contemplate the temporary nature of human power and the everlasting sovereignty of God. The receding waters serve as a visual reminder of God's supremacy over all creation. As believers witnessing these events, it reminds us of the importance of aligning ourselves with God's will. The fall of Babylon represents an ongoing struggle between godly and worldly systems. In this struggle, we are called to remain steadfast in our faith, firmly rooted in the truth of God's word. The drying up of the Euphrates River serves as a powerful metaphor and prophetic sign, urging us to exercise discernment and faithfulness by looking beyond the immediate and recognizing God's redemptive plan throughout history and our present times. In Revelation 9:13-15, a chilling prophecy is unveiled, indicating the release of 4 angels bound at the great river Euphrates. These angels, once released, are destined to bring about significant destruction, marking a part of the series of judgments during the end time. This prophecy emphasizes the impending judgment of God upon nations and the consequences of their rebellion against him. The Euphrates River holds great significance in biblical prophecy. In the Old Testament, it marked the eastern border of the land promised to the Israelites. It was also associated with ancient Babylon, a powerful kingdom that oppressed God's people. In the book of Revelation, the Euphrates is mentioned as a symbolic representation of the forces of evil and rebellion against God. When the 6th angel pours out his bowl and causes the Euphrates to dry up, It symbolizes the removal of obstacles and the preparation for the final battle between the forces of good and evil. This drying up allows the kings from the east to gather and march toward Armageddon, where the ultimate confrontation between God and the powers of darkness will take place. The Battle of Armageddon, described in Revelation, represents the climax of human history and the final judgment of God. It is a spiritual battle where the forces of evil, led by the beast and the false prophet, wage war against Christ and his heavenly army. The drying up of the Euphrates signifies the withdrawal of God's grace and the removal of barriers, allowing the powers of darkness to gather for this ultimate showdown. It is important to note that the prophecies in the book of Revelation are highly symbolic and should not be interpreted as literal events. The drying up of the Euphrates River represents the spiritual and moral decline of nations, the removal of divine protection, and the culmination of God's judgment on the rebellious powers of the world. As believers, these prophecies should serve as a reminder of the transient nature of earthly powers and the importance of aligning ourselves with God's will. These prophecies call us to live righteous lives, to remain faithful in the face of opposition, and to trust in God's ultimate victory over evil. We should not be consumed by fear, but rather stand firm in our faith, knowing that God is in control and his promises will be fulfilled. The imagery of the Euphrates River in the book of Revelation carries deep symbolic meaning. It represents God's interaction with humanity, his promises, judgments, and the ultimate fulfillment of his divine plan. The drying up of the Euphrates symbolizes the withdrawal of God's grace, the removal of barriers, and the preparation for the final battle between the forces of good and evil. These prophecies serve as reminders of the transient nature of earthly powers, the importance of aligning ourselves with God's will, and the trust in his ultimate victory over evil. The era characterized by human pride and godlessness, which can only be subdued by God's divine decree, has come to an end. This serves as a reminder for us today that, just as the Euphrates River has witnessed human arrogance, its prophesied drying up calls us to humble ourselves before God and acknowledge his ultimate authority over creation and history. We are called to learn from the past, understanding that defiance symbolized by the Euphrates River will ultimately lead to downfall. This recognition should guide our actions and attitudes, leading us towards reverence, obedience, and trust in God's supreme power. Additionally, the Euphrates River has played a significant role as a boundary between nations throughout the Bible. In biblical times, it marked the edge of the Promised Land, defining the extent of Israel's territory as ordained by God. Beyond its role as a geographical marker, the Euphrates also represents the diversity within God's creation and his plan for unity among nations. The river has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, each with its own distinct culture and identity, yet all part of God's greater plan. Therefore, from a different perspective, the Euphrates River signifies both the boundaries between nations and God's desire for unity throughout history. The drying up of the Euphrates in Revelation can be seen as a representation of the removal of barriers that have historically divided nations. It invites us to imagine a future where God's kingdom brings people from all tribes, tongues, and nations together, fulfilling the promise in Revelation. This aspect of prophecy reminds us that God's ultimate plan is unity in diversity, not division. The implications of the Euphrates for believers in the context of the end times urge us to consider what this means for us today as modern believers. The symbolism of the Euphrates River in Revelation relates to our lives in the present in several ways. Firstly, the drying up of the Euphrates challenges us to reflect on where we place our trust, whether in the fleeting powers of this world or in the eternal sovereignty of God. Secondly, this prophecy encourages us to be spiritually vigilant and prepared, as we do not know when the Lord will return, as stated by Jesus in Matthew 24:42-44. The drying up of the Euphrates serves as a reminder of the unpredictability of these events and the importance of being spiritually alert and ready. Moreover, this aspect of prophecy invites us to engage in deeper prayer and intercession for our world. As we witness the signs of the times unfolding, our response should be one of prayerful engagement, seeking God's guidance for ourselves, nations, and the salvation of souls. The drying up of the Euphrates also calls for a reevaluation of our priorities and lifestyles. In a world characterized by materialism and self-reliance, it serves as a stark reminder of the temporary nature of earthly things, urging us to prioritize our spiritual life and relationship with God. This prophecy presents opportunities for witnessing and sharing our faith. As those around us observe these changes and wonder about their significance, we have a unique opportunity to share the hope and truth of the gospel, explaining how these events tie into God's grand plan of redemption. The connection between the fulfillment of prophecy and the Euphrates River is essential. It not only serves as a sign of imminent judgment, but also as a call to salvation and a reminder of God's redemptive love for humanity through Christ. The drying up of the Euphrates in our time prompts us to reflect on the unfolding of biblical prophecy in our world, highlighting the power, sovereignty, and faithfulness of God. It urges us to deepen our understanding of His Word and strengthen our commitment to His ways. As we witness these prophetic signs, let us be inspired to have faith and take action. We should embrace the lessons of the past, the promises of the present, and the hope of the future, all intertwined with the ancient river, the Euphrates. Its rich history reminds us of God's constant presence in our lives, guiding us through the waters of change towards His eternal kingdom. Therefore, let us not view the Euphrates solely as a river in the Middle East, but as a living testament to God's changing purpose and unfailing love for all of us. It is a call for us to trust in God's sovereignty, remain spiritually vigilant, engage in prayer, realign our priorities, and boldly share our faith. Let us embrace these challenges with faith and courage, knowing that in every change and uncertainty, God is working out His perfect plan.